So the new season is approaching, and this is my Premier League predictions for the 23-24 season. We have three new teams promoted from the Championship: Sheffield United, Luton Town, and Burnley. I'm most excited for Luton because I want to see how they do. I want to see them stay up, and I'm not really sure. But yeah, this is my Premier League predictions 23-24. 20th, Sheffield United. I just don't think they will stay up this season. I think they will be one of the three teams to get relegated. This squad isn't good enough. They sold one of their best players, Iliman and DA. That is a big mistake. They can't be relying on Ollie McBurnie and Ryan Brewster. Ollie McBurnie, when he came to the Premier League for the first time, wasn't too bad, but Ryan Brewster, he's not there anymore. He can't do it in the Premier League. He's not as good as he used to be. But there's also Sander Berge as well, but I just don't think. I mean, Paul Heckingbottom is not a bad manager, but I just don't think Sheffield United will stay up. 19th, Bournemouth. I don't think they can stay up for the next season. I just feel like it's the second season in the Premier League. They won't be able to do it. With their striker being Philip Billing, he's not going to rip up the Premier League for you. He won't be the answer to your survival in the second season. Yeah, I do think Bournemouth will start to sort of crumble next season. They might be decent come the start of the season, but then there'll be one game where they're okay, and then that'll be it. I don't really expect anything from Bournemouth next season. They shouldn't have sacked Gary O'Neill. He was one of the best managers in the league last season. And they've sacked him for someone called Iraola or whatever his name is. Don't even know who he is. Yeah, their first mistake was sacking Gary O'Neill. He hadn't even done anything wrong and he got sacked. Just for that alone, Bournemouth probably will get sacked. Probably will get relegated. But yeah, Bournemouth, 19th. 18th, Wolves. Not a good enough squad. With the squad they have, Jose Sa was quite good for his first season at Wolves, but not great for last season. They didn't do as well as they have done in previous seasons. Last season, they only managed to get 11 wins, 7 draws and 20 losses. A goal difference of -13 and only 40 points. And it's also their squad as well. Gian Martino has left. Adama Traore has left. Raul Jimenez has been sold to Fulham. It's not working out for Wolves. And we barely see Pedro Neto play anymore. So I think it is their time up in the Premier League next season. 18th for Wolves. I can't see them proving a point next season. I can't see them going, right, everyone thinks we're going to get relegated. Let's show them why we're not. I don't think that'll be the case. They'll try and do that, but I do not think Wolves will stay up next season. 17th, Luton Town. I do think Luton Town will stay up next season. Might be a bit of a crazy prediction. But yeah, their squad, it's good enough. Rob Edwards is at the helm for them. He's their manager, great manager. Carlton Morris is up front. And Pele Roderick Panzu, they have signed Ryan Giles. I'm not sure where from though. Yeah, they've got a good enough squad. They've signed Marvelous Nakamba on a permanent deal. So yeah, it's all going well for Luton Town, and I do think they will stay up next season. I could be totally wrong, but I think they will stay up next season. If we have a look at Luton's results Their finishing standings in the table. They won 21 games, drew 17 and only lost 8, so that's incredible. Got a goal difference of plus 18 and got 80 points. Obviously, they did not qualify through automatic promotion. They did qualify through the playoffs by winning 6-5 on penalties in the Championship final playoff against Coventry. But yeah, every neutral wanted Luton to be promoted to the Premier League, and they did get promoted, and I do have high expectations for Luton Town next season. Luton Town 17th. 16th, Everton. Where do I start? It's like every year we predict them not in the relegation zone, and then they manage to nearly be relegated, and in the near future they are going to get relegated, I think, because their squad isn't good enough at all. Their goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford, he's probably one of the only good players in that squad. Doucouré's a good player, Abdoulaye Doucouré. McNeil's alright, Tarkowski as well. But the likes of Neil Maupay, Yerry Mina, they need selling. They need to be sold. And I think Yerry Mina's left the club, if I'm correct. But Neil Maupay needs to go. He had high expectations. Everyone had high expectations of Neil Maupay when he first joined the club in the summer of 2022. But it's just fallen away for him at Everton. He's not lived up to the expectations, and it's kind of just failed for him at Everton. Alex Iwobi, he's sort of an average player. Anthony Gordon left in the January transfer window of 2022. Of 2023. Ashley Young is the only player they've signed so far. He's 36, 37. Let's just see. Ashley Young is not going to save you from being relegated. I mean, I think probably saying that they're going to finish 16th is generous. Ashley Young is... How old is he? Let's have a look. Ashley Young, it doesn't tell me here. Ashley Young, born 19th, so born the 9th of July 1985. He is 38, so 2 years off 40. Yeah, he's 2 years off 40. So if you think a 38-year-old footballer, if you think a 38-year-old fullback is going to save you from your problems, then you'd be completely wrong. I don't know what the thinking process was behind that transfer, because it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. If you want to stay up, like, don't be signing a 38-year-old defender. Like, it's just not the right decision to make. But Everton, 16th. I won't be surprised if they get relegated, though. 15th, Burnley. I do think Burnley will stay up. I think they're going to have a good season. They've got Vincent Kompany, which he's a great manager. He was a great player, and he's a great manager. They got over 100 points in the Championship last season, and they've not got a bad squad. Zarawi, he's a fabulous player. They have a brilliant chance of staying up next season. And with the team they've got, I won't be surprised if they do, because from being relegated the season before that, they've come straight back up. And with Kompany as manager, you can't go wrong with that. You cannot go wrong with that. I won't be surprised if when Pep leaves Man City, Vincent Kompany becomes the manager of Man City. But yeah, I do think that Burnley will stay up. They need to make some good signings though, but I do think they will stay up. I think they will be safe, and with Vincent Kompany as a manager, he's done fabulous in his first season at Burnley, so God knows what he will do come the next Premier League season. But yeah, Burnley 15th. 14th, Nottingham Forest. They had a brilliant season last season. Let's just give them a round of applause for that. What a season they did have. Let's just take a look at their table stats. So 9 wins, 11 draws and 18 losses. Probably expected, actually. Minus 30 goal difference and 38 points. So not all that bad. They did just miss out on relegation by the skin of their teeth. But all around, not a bad season. Their goals against, the goals for 38 and goals against 68. But they did have a great season. They did manage to beat some of the teams like Liverpool. They did beat Liverpool last season. Great achievement for their first season in the Premier League. Yeah, as a Liverpool fan, they destroyed us in that game. I'm going to be honest, they did destroy us. I think, did they win to Chelsea at one point last season? I know Chelsea did really bad, but did they win to Chelsea at one point? I think they might have done. Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. I think they might have won to Chelsea at one point. Matches. Let's have a look. In the 22/23. I'm sure they won to Chelsea at some point. There was a 2-2 draw. That might have been it. That might have been what I was thinking of. I think that was what I was thinking of. I thought they'd won to Chelsea at some point, but yeah. So great achievement in winning to Liverpool last season. That's a great achievement. I think they're going to have a great season once again. 14th. I don't think there will be any second season. But yeah. Nottingham Forest, 14th. 13th, Fulham. Yes, I do think they're going to do very well next season again. Let's look at their table stats from last season. 15 wins, 7 draws and 16 losses. A +2 goal difference and 52 points. So a really good season. They've had a bit of a problem with Marco Silva and Mitrovic at the minute. I don't know what that is. I think Marco Silva and Mitrovic has been wanted by Saudi Arabia or something. I think Saudi Arabia have offered Marco Silva a contract as a manager. But yeah, I think he's staying for now. They've also got Palhinha for next season. He was fabulous last season. And they also do have Carlos Vinicius as well. He was a brilliant player also. But I do think there is a lot more players that they should sign yet. Transfer window isn't closed yet, so yeah, massive investment needed in that squad until the end of the transfer window. But for now, yeah, Fulham 13th. 12th, Crystal Palace. I do think they will do well next season, but not as well as last season. Eze was on fire for them last season. They've got Roy Hodgson as the manager still, but they have lost Wilfried Zaha. He has gone to Galatasaray, and they are losing Michael Olise as well to either Man City or Chelsea. So they could have problems next season. Roy Hodgson is still their manager though. Their table results from last season: 11 wins, 12 draws, and 15 losses. A goal difference of -9 and 45 points. So, not really that good from Crystal Palace from last season. But they did alright to finish 11th, because they've finished lower down in recent years. But yeah, Crystal Palace 12th. 11th, West Ham. Yeah, fabulous season last season. Their first European trophy in over 47 years. And David Moyes has done an excellent job with his squad. There's some of the best players in this squad. Lucas Paquetá, Declan Rice has obviously left the squad. There's Benrahma, Fornals, Fabianski. Even though he's 38, he's still a brilliant goalkeeper. Jared Bowen. Yeah, there's some really good players in that squad. The only problem that they have next season is all the games they've got to play. They've got the Premier League they've got the Europa League alongside the Premier League and the FA Cup and the League Cup. So they've got 4 competitions to play next season. That's 4 competitions. That's the only problem they've got next season with how many games they've got to play. But I think they'll be alright, but I don't think they will do as well as last season because of how many games they've got to play next season. They've got the Europa League alongside the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and the Premier League. So it's going to be a lot of games to play. They're going to have to play a Europa League game like every 3 weeks. It's going to be a lot of games to play next season for West Ham. But if they do win the Europa League, they have got the Champions League the season after that. So yeah, West Ham 11th, 10th Brentford. Ivan Toney's gone for a full season. That's going to be a massive weakness. I don't think they will do as well as last season. They will not be getting any European football whatsoever. 10th next season. They won 15 games. They drew 14 and lost 9. They had a plus 12 goal difference and 59 points. Yeah, that's brilliant for their second season in the Premier League. But I can't see them really excelling much this season. With Ivan Toney out of the squad, they do have alternatives. They've got Rico Henry. They've got Ethan Pinnock. They've got Brian Mbeumo. They've got David Raya, but he could be moving to Arsenal. There's a lot of weaknesses for next season for Brentford, but I think 10th. 9th, Brighton. Roberto De Zerbi did an absolutely excellent job with Brighton last season. They have lost a key player in Alexis McAllister, but they do have alternatives. Julio Enciso is a player to look out for. Evan Ferguson, Karu Matoma did a fantastic job last season in scoring a lot of goals. And the stats from last season, they finished 6th, so European football for the first time in their whole history. If they do end up winning the Europa League, which they're probably not going to, they will be in the Champions League. Imagine seeing that, Brighton in the Champions League, but I don't think that will happen. 18 wins, 8 draws and 12 losses, a plus 19 goal difference and 62 points. Again, the only problem why they will finish 9th is because of the amount of games they will have next season. They've got to juggle the Europa League alongside the Premier League and the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. So they have a lot of fixtures to play next season. and that will be the only problem. But apart from that, I think they will have an alright season. I don't think they will drop off, but the only problem is they've got to play so many games that they might end up sort of falling over and getting caught up. But I do think Brighton will do alright. 8th, Aston Villa. This squad is going to be excellent next season. They've got Pau Torres. They've signed Pau Torres. They've signed Moussa Diaby from Leverkusen, and they've signed Pau Torres from Villarreal. Two great signings there. We know how good Pau Torres is. Moussa Diaby is a great player as well. Ollie Watkins up front again next season. Unai Emery is the manager of Aston Villa. Emi Martinez, he's a great goalkeeper, and Pau Torres is alongside his former manager, Unai Emery. I can't see this failing for Aston Villa. The only problem is, again, though, that they're playing in the Europa Conference League. So, again, it's all the fixtures they've got to play, but 8th. I do think they will be 8th. And I think they might end up winning the Europa Conference League. Because in the Europa Conference League, the teams in that, not the best. So I reckon with that squad, Aston Villa could easily win the Europa Conference League. I think I said the Europa League before, I meant the Europa Conference League. But yeah, Aston Villa could easily win the Europa Conference League. And the team they've got is astonishing. 7th, Tottenham. They have a much better squad for next season. They finally have a new goalkeeper, Guglielmo Vicario from Empoli. They've signed James Maddison from Leicester, and they've signed Manuel Solomon from Fulham. They have appointed a new manager, Ange Postecoglou from Celtic, and this squad is looking better. And they do have Harry Kane still, but he could be moving to Bayern Munich. There is a negotiation going on between Harry Kane and Bayern Munich, so Harry Kane could be signing for Bayern Munich this summer. Let's have a look at their table results from last season. 8th position, so no European football for them for the first time in a lot of years. And they won 18 games last season, drew 6 and lost 14. They got a goal difference of +7 and 60 points. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprising season because they didn't do great. But this squad looks better, way better. It's got more strength in it, and some of these players just look really good for next season. I feel like Ange Postecoglou will play Yves Bissouma next season. I feel like Bissouma will get a lot of games next season. I feel like he will play. Richarlison, I think, as well, will get a lot of games. He has scored a hat-trick in pre-season against Lion City Sailors. And I do think Richarlison will get a lot of games next season. And I also think he will score a few as well. He didn't look fabulous last season. He did score a goal. One goal, that was it. For the whole season, and it didn't count for anything anyway. That was against Liverpool. Yeah. I do feel like Tottenham will finish 7th, meaning they will be in the Europa Conference League for the second time in 3 years. I just feel like Tottenham will be in the Europa Conference League. I just feel like they're going to finish 7th. 6th, Newcastle. The team that they now have is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's outstanding. Sandro Tonali. They have signed Sandro Tonali. That is their statement signing. They have one of the best midfielders in the world. Bruno Guimaraes, Joel Linton. Bruno Guimaraes is one of the best players in the Premier League. I'd go as far to say he's one of the best players in the Premier League. Their results from last season were amazing. They have Champions League football. It's brilliant. They've gone from nearly being relegated to Champions League football. Yeah, that is amazing. Eddie Howe's done a fabulous job with Newcastle. 19 games won, 14 drawn, and 5 lost. A goal difference of plus 35 and 71 points. That is astonishing. No one thought they'd be getting that last season. No one thought that at all. Yeah, the expectations were down with Newcastle a bit. Because of the season they had before that. They narrowly survived relegation the season before that. But now their team, it looks bigger and better. Sandro Tonali, wow. The signing that they have made in Sandro Tonali, they are going to get a lot from him. And their owners, they're doing the best possible job they can. And to sign Sandro Tonali is absolutely brilliant. But the reason why they're 6th is because the amount of games they've got next season. They've got the Champions League alongside the Premier League, the FA Cup, the League Cup. So it's not going to be easy, but they will still get in the Europa League qualification stages. They might even win the Champions League, but it's unlikely. 5th, Chelsea. Their team is now better. They have a couple of great signings. Christopher Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson. They look absolutely fabulous. Nicholas Jackson and Christopher Nkunku have been on fire in pre-season. They look absolutely brilliant. Mauricio Pochettino is their new manager. And there was a few question marks around Nicholas Jackson because the money they paid for him, is he going to be good enough? But I think that question has been answered. But there were question marks surrounding Christopher Nkunku, whether he was going to be good enough for Chelsea or not. I don't think they will creep into the top 4 just yet, but I do think they will be 5th. Let's just have a look at their stats from last season. 12th. That's really bad. 11 wins, 11 draws, 16 losses. Wow. Minus 9 goal difference, and 44 points. Chelsea should not be getting 44 points when the squad they have. The sales that they've made, though. The players that have gone out of the club. Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Mateo Kovacic. It's perfect. Edouard Mendy, Koulibaly, N'Golo Kante. I could literally go on forever naming the players they've sold. They've sold a lot of players, and I don't think they will creep into the top 4 this season. So, yeah, Chelsea, 5th. 4th, Man United. Their team is looking better. Andre Onana in goal. That's a big upgrade from David De Gea. Mason Mount. They are on the verge of signing Rasmus Højlund. They've signed Mason Mount. That's it so far. But yeah, this squad, as it is, looks very good for next season. Marcus Rashford, Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Lindelof as well, Luke Shaw. Yeah, the squad looks very good. Alex Telles has gone to Al Nassr. Yeah, it's a better squad. It's a way better squad. And their table stats from last season, they finished 4th. They finished 3rd. 23 games won, 6 drawn, 9 lost. Fabulous compared to the season before that. A plus 15 goal difference and 75 points. So for Manchester United, the season before that was really bad. And last season just goes to show that you can improve as a team. And that's what Man United have done. Man United 4th. 3rd, Liverpool. The signings we've made so far are absolutely brilliant. We didn't have the greatest of seasons last season, but the signings we've made so far are absolutely brilliant. Alexis McAllister signed from Brighton. He had a brilliant season last season. And Dominic Szoboszlai signed from RB Leipzig. He looks like a great player. And for pre-season, Liverpool have looked very good. We recently won 2-0 to Leicester, 4-0 to Leicester in pre-season. And it's looked a very good pre-season for Liverpool. Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo have been on fire for Liverpool in pre-season. Their stats were from last season 5th, obviously, so Europa League next season. 19 games won, only 19 games, 10 drawn and 9 lost. A plus 28 goal difference and 67 points. I don't know how we managed to get 5th, if I'm honest. We had that bad of a season, but I feel like next season will be much more different. And we do have 2 new captains. Virgil van Dijk as the captain and Trent Alexander-Arnold as the vice-captain after Milner and Henderson's departures. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be a good season for Liverpool next season. I hope it will be. Yeah, 3rd, Liverpool. 2nd, Arsenal. They narrowly missed out on winning the Premier League last season, and they're going to narrowly miss out on winning the Premier League this season. They had a great season last season, but they crumbled right at the end when they were going to win the title. Arsenal last season were absolutely brilliant. It was a very impressive season. 26 games won, 6 drawn, 6 lost, a plus 45 goal difference and 84 points. Yeah, they did very, very well. They have Champions League football this season, and this squad looks really good. Declan Rice, Yorin Timber and Kai Havertz as the 3 new signings. They have extended William Saliba's contract, so he will be at the club for longer now. That's a great decision because he looked fabulous last season. They could have David Raya signing. I don't know. They could have David Raya signing. I don't really know what's wrong with Aaron Ramsdale. But David Raya could be their backup maybe, but I don't really know what's wrong with Aaron Ramsdale. Their front 3, Saka, Jesus and Martinelli, that's looking good. Kai Havertz, we don't know what he'll be like yet. Everyone just expects him to do really bad and flop, but we don't know what he will be like. We do not know what he will be like. Martinelli, he is going to be good next season. Jesus is going to be good next season. And Saka, he's had a great pre-season, so he's going to be fabulous next season. Declan Rice, I think he will be good next season. Yorin Timber, he's going to be good as well. I think all of those players will do well. And who knows, they could win the title. But yeah, Arsenal, 2nd. There's only one team that will win the Premier League, Manchester City. They had an excellent season last season. They won the treble, they won the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Premier League. Their stats, 28 games won, 5 drawn, and only 5 lost. A goals for of 94, a goals against of 33, plus 61 goal difference, and 89 points. What a season that is. They had an absolutely amazing season. I don't need to name who will be their top scorer next season because you already know. Yeah, Manchester City will win the Premier League. So, they are my Premier League predictions for the 23-24 season. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do, which means like, subscribe, turn post notifications on, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.